expected to test your jiu-jitsu, or do you think this is going to be a stand-up fight, as often happens between two grapplers?
No, I think we're gonna have ground touch of that, But I think he said he's not worrying about going to the ground, and I'm not worrying also. So I think we're gonna have ground fighting too.
What did you take from his loss to Story?
To his loss to Story, many things. I watched this fight. I watched that fight, and it was one of the fights that I studied. Uh, but it's hard to say because it's something with my strategy. I can't say.
Well, he's a young up-and-coming guy. He's got a lot of momentum, but you're a very established veteran. How much do you expect your experience to come into play in this fight?
I think MMA is a lot about experience, and but I'm think also I'm in a good momentum. I have 3 wins in a row with tough fighters. I think we both in a good momentum, and will be a good shock of fighters.
So Nelson said he wanted to fight you because he thinks you're old and you're on your way out of fighting. Do you have any thoughts on it, any response to that?
No, I don't. I don't think. I don't feel like I'm going to stop to fight soon. Like I said, every camp I feel like I get in a better shape and I get in a better technique. And with this anti-doping, policy, now it's better because I think the game will be more fair and it's gonna give me more time, and gives me more. I will be fighting a longer time. I think I have at least 3 more years to fight.
How many of your opponents do you think were using performance-enhancing drugs?
It's impossible to say that, and also it's unethical if I say that because I can be unfair, but we know there's people around using. You can see now people are getting caught and people are, the shape when you see the fighters going to the fight, the shapes are different. So, let's see, the time will say.
And what did you make of it when Dong Young Kim called you out after his last fight, saying you were the easiest opponent in the top 10?
It's for me doesn't matter, I just focus on Gunnar right now.
Is that a rematch you would give him if you're successful against Nelson?
Like I said, I don't care about that. I don't even, pay attention of that because I'm just focused on Gunnar.
So some people are expecting this fight to take place a lot in feet, and he's got a very unique striking style. It's a little bit karate based. How have you prepared for that? Have you brought in special training partners to deal with that, or what have you done?
In Brazil, we have a very good karate, and a tradition in karate also. I myself, I did a little Shotokan karate when I was younger. So, and I know people from karate, and they were training in the academy also. They train jiu-jitsu too, so of course it's different, but I have this kind of guys who training with too.
And we've been talking to obviously a lot of Scandinavian and Nordic fans because we're also based there, and this is kind of a fight that people have been wanting to see for a long time. Gunnar Nelson versus Demian Maia. People have been talking about it so much. Why do you think that is?
You mean Scandinavia?
Yeah.
Or
Like everyone wants to see him fight.
I think because he's one of the best guys in Scandinavia right now. And I don't know, I have a history with Scandinavia too. I've been so many times there, I give so many seminars. I've been in Sweden many times. I just was there like 3 months ago giving seminars. I have many friends there. Was the first person when I started really traveling for seminars out of Brazil. That was the first place, Sweden and Finland. I've been in Finland for I think 11 times. I've been in Sweden for like 4, 5 times. I've been in Denmark, I've been everywhere there. I have friends there forever, they are my friends. They are big friends. They come to Brazil, they stay with me. So maybe because people know me there, and he's one of the best and the best in the division for sure, Scandinavian guy. They just think about this fight. I think that's the reason.
So skipping ahead a little bit, there's a lightweight title fight coming up between Rafael dos Anjos and Donald Cerrone. Obviously, dos Anjos a Brazilian. But how do you see that fight going down, and who would you pick to win?
it's a tough fight, tough fight to say. But I think Rafael is the champion, and I think I think he will win, but it will be a very, very tough fight.
And then lastly, the UFC is naming rooms after fighters in its new headquarters in Las Vegas. They're naming rooms in their new headquarters after fighters. If they were to name a room after you, what would they name it?
I don't know, something has to do with my love of jiu-jitsu, of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, something about that, But where is that?
It's the new headquarters in Las Vegas.
Okay, good.
Demian Maia Jiu-Jitsu studio.
Would be nice, would be great, I would be very honored if they do that.
Speaking of, you said you spent time in Sweden. We've actually heard about that, and there is actually a rumor that's been around that there was one of the first times you were in Sweden that there was like some kind of a fight or somebody got aggressive with you and there was a knife involved. Can you sort of like clarify that?
That's old stuff, I had a problem in a nightclub, and the guys tried to, was not even Swedish guys, were foreigners, but they live there. Some immigrants, they live there, and they have some gangs, and they start to fight with me, and one guy stabbed me with the knife, but then they run away. What's crazy, my friends from Brazil, they say, you go to Sweden and you get stabbed there, and never in Brazil, but, I never was like a street fighters, or I never fight in the streets. And this time the guy came to, over me to try to do something, and I need to react. And I start to fight, by myself with like 6 guys. But I didn't see one guy on the side. When he did stab me, they just run away. And that's it.
It wasn't serious injury? Or?
No, it wasn't. I was lucky. The stab was going up, and just cut like skin and fat, no, and little muscle, but nothing bad. But was something worrying, something.
Did they catch the guys who did it?
I don't think so. At least not the policy.
All right. Well, last question. Like I said, this is a fight that people have been looking forward to. For those who there's so many fights on these weeks, so many fights, so many big fights. Why should the fans be sure to tune in for your bout with Gunnar Nelson?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
There's so many fights this week, so many big fights that some people might miss some. But why should the fans be sure to watch your fight with Gunnar Nelson?
Because I think that's the clash of good grapplers, good BJJ fighters, and I think all the fights will be good, very good. All the fights are good MMA fighters, but the best grappling fight inside the MMA will be our fight, I think. So if the guys like grappling, like jiu-jitsu, which I'm sure many fans love it, they gotta watch our fight, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
You have some fans in Sweden, BJJ fans. They think that you and Gunnar, you should start a fight on your knees. What do you think?
If he wants, you ask him. If he wants, we can do, no problem.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.